Your brain is lying to you every single time you pick up a sponge. That urge to scrub your entire kitchen at 2 in the morning, nobody asked you to, nobody is coming over, but you can't stop. The warm water running over your hands, the smell of soap cutting through the grease, watching a dirty counter turn spotless right in front of you. It almost feels like breathing again after holding your breath for hours. And here's what's strange. When you were done, you didn't just feel like your apartment was cleaner. You felt like you were cleaner, like something heavy had been lifted off your chest. That feeling is not random. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your brain is really doing when it tells you to grab that mop. We all grew up with this unspoken rule: clean space, good person. Messy space, something is wrong with you. Teachers said it, parents said it, society stamped it into us before we could even question it. But psychology tells a completely different story. Because some of the most obsessive cleaners you will ever meet are quietly falling apart on the inside. And some of the messiest people you know are building their most brilliant ideas in that chaos. So, what if everything you believe about cleaning is actually upside down? Cleaning as emotional regulation. Think about the last time you felt completely overwhelmed. Not just stressed, overwhelmed. Like the ground underneath you was shifting, and you had nothing to hold on to. What did you do? You didn't sit down and talk about your feelings. You grabbed a cloth. You started wiping. Maybe you reorganized the entire fridge. Maybe you folded every towel in the house until the edges were perfectly aligned. And with every fold, with every surface that went from dusty to clean, something inside you started to settle. That's not a coincidence. Psychologists call this compensatory control. When your brain feels like everything important is spinning out of reach, it hunts for something it can still fix. And cleaning is the perfect target. You spray, you wipe, it's done. Your brain gets an instant signal that says, you just made something better. And here's what makes it even more powerful. Neuroscience shows that completing small physical tasks like these triggers a release of dopamine, that same chemical your brain produces when you eat your favorite food or get a compliment. On top of that, seeing a clean space actually lowers your cortisol levels. That's the hormone your body pumps out when you're stressed. So when someone says, "I feel so relieved after cleaning," that's not imagination, that's biology. Your nervous system literally calms down because your surroundings signal safety. You're not scrubbing the counter. You're telling your nervous system that the world is okay again. But that's only the surface. Because the real question isn't why you clean. It's why you clean when you clean. And that answer takes us somewhere much deeper. The childhood layer. Have you ever met someone who cannot relax unless their house is spotless? Not just tidy, spotless. Like even a single cup on the counter creates this low hum of anxiety they can't explain. There's often a story behind that. People who grew up in unpredictable homes, where emotions shifted without warning, or where boundaries didn't exist, often develop a deep attachment to physical order, not because they love cleaning, but because a tidy room became the one thing in their childhood that felt stable, the one corner of the world that stayed the way they left it. For them, a clean space isn't about aesthetics. It's a quiet promise they make to themselves. Here I decide what happens. Here I am safe. And on the other side, some people avoid cleaning entirely, not because they're lazy, but because growing up, tidiness came with criticism. Every wrinkle in the bedsheet meant a lecture. Every toy on the floor meant trouble. For them, organizing doesn't bring peace. It brings the echo of someone's disapproval. Both responses are completely valid. Both are the brain doing exactly what it learned to do as a child, and neither one is broken. Your relationship with cleaning was shaped long before you ever picked up a broom. You just didn't know it until now. And that realization alone changes things. But the next part might surprise you even more. Because what if your mess isn't a problem at all? Why mess isn't always the enemy? What if the clutter on your desk is actually making you more creative? Researchers at the University of Minnesota tested this. One group worked in a perfectly tidy room. Another group worked in a messy one. Both were asked to brainstorm creative uses for everyday objects. The people in the clean room gave safe, conventional answers. The people in the messy room came up with significantly more original ideas, and the reason is fascinating. A clean space tells your brain to follow the rules. Everything is where it should be. Stay in line. But a messy space sends the opposite signal. It loosens mental boundaries. It whispers, "The rules don't apply here. Think freely." So that friend whose apartment looks like a tornado hit it but who always has the wildest, most original ideas? That's not a contradiction. That's the environment doing exactly what the brain needs it to do. Mess is not the enemy of productivity. Sometimes it's the secret ingredient. Now, before you use this as a free pass to never clean again, there is a shadow side to all of this. And if you've ever spent 2 hours color-coding your bookshelf while an important deadline was ticking away, you already feel what I'm about to say. The procrastination trap cleaning is the most beautifully disguised form of avoidance your brain will ever invent. You sit down to start that project, the one that actually matters. Within 5 minutes, you notice dust on the shelf, then crumbs on the floor, then the bathroom could use a quick wipe, and suddenly, 2 hours are gone. Your apartment looks magazine-worthy. You feel genuinely accomplished, but the project is untouched. The email is still unsent. The conversation you've been dodging is still undodged. Psychologists call this productive procrastination. Your brain swaps the scary task for an easier one that still gives you a hit of accomplishment. And the cruel part is you can't even feel guilty, because look at that sparkling bathroom. Your brain performed a full magic trick. It gave you the feeling of progress while keeping you exactly where you started. So the next time you catch yourself reorganizing your entire closet 20 minutes before a deadline, pause. Don't judge it. Just ask yourself one honest question. What am I really avoiding right now? When you step back and look at all of this together, something unexpected comes into focus. Every time you reach for that sponge, there is an invisible conversation happening between you and your stress, between you and your childhood, between you and whoever you're becoming next. That midnight cleaning session was never about the dishes. It was your mind trying to settle something it didn't have words for. And that mess on your desk that everyone keeps commenting on, maybe it's not a flaw. Maybe it's the exact space your brain needs to breathe and create. There is no right way to keep a home. There is only what your space is quietly telling you about where you are in your life right now. And once you stop seeing your home as something that needs to be fixed and start seeing it as something that has been reflecting your inner world back to you all along, everything shifts. It was never about the dust. It was never about the clutter. It was always, quietly, about you.